Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure to spend an afternoon with a group of youth who's committed to growth and development by your choice to be here today. So let's begin the session with a round of applause to yourselves for your choice, and a thank you for TEDx KL Youth for making this possible. So now back to some business. I'm here to share with you about results, result power. So, most importantly, our relationship with result. Think, exam. Think, report card. For most of us, this creates a negative emotion. Where does this negative emotion come from? It is our fear of result. Why do we have a... Well, as a person who's result conscious, and from exam grades to athletic medals, I have been drowned by my negative relationship with results. I have been going through a roller coaster ride of my self-perception as a result of this destructive view. What does this mean? When I had bad results, I saw myself as a failure. When I had good results, I was a success. So, eventually, the ups and downs of this perception caused me to become a very shy and introverted youth who did not want to say much to avoid the harsh judgment of others, and more dangerously, the harsh judgment of myself. So, the struggle to reduce the volatility of this self-perception is time and energy consuming, self-defeating, and ultimately creates a negative fixed belief we have in our character and ability. The magic question now is how to develop a constructive view that creates a healthy relationship we have with results, whereby results become a tool we use to get up faster and stronger through the roller coaster ride of life. I would say that the answer is by changing our view of result. The book, Nothing Changes, Everything Changes, by my spiritual guide, Tem Rinpoche, taught me to look at result this way. Result is a feedback and signal on the effectiveness of my plan and strategy. Result does not define who I am. Result was something I used to guide me on what's next. Result does not control my emotional reaction to a certain circumstance. I also developed a very clear definition of what result means to me. Mistakes, my dears, are not results. Mistakes are room for improvement. In fact, when you make mistakes, it's a good sign that you are stepping out of your comfort zone. It is a sign that you are entering the unknown and uncertain. Therefore, the bigger the room for improvement, the larger the opportunity you have to learn and gain from. I also practiced the law of cause and effect, commonly known as karma these days, as an effort to improve my relationship with result. Cause and effect has a direct correlation. Therefore, if I have a result that I don't like, which is on this side of the equation, I have to change this side of the equation, which is the cause, my action. My action is within my control. Consequently, the results of my life is also within my control. By internalizing this control, we become managers of our lives, and we have the power, the results we wish to have. This view of result caused the successful opening of the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf flagship store in Xintiandi, Shanghai. This location is equivalent to Soho in New York or Covent Garden in London. How did a 24-year-old kid with no management skills, 2 bad location stores, And a company that was in the brink of bankruptcy managed this. Some say it's pure luck. I would say that it is some luck, a lot of hard work, and a whole load of attitude. In November 2004, about 2 weeks after I arrived, a location freed up in Xintiandi. I was all excited. I was like saying, oh my God, what an opportunity. We must grab it. The people around me thought it was a joke. They struggled whether they should cry for me or laugh at me. Nevertheless, I decided to prepare a proposal and submitted it. I was rejected. So, were they all right and I was wrong? I went into this victim mode, like, oh, I didn't have anything to work with. It was a lousy brand. Nobody knew what Coffee Bean was. They thought I was some Chinese brand. And, I didn't have a good team. I didn't have a marketing department. I had nothing to work with. I was trying to blame somebody or something for this undesirable result. I was in this mode for a few days. And then I asked myself, does being in this state help me? No. Does being in this state help the company? No. Okay, do I know what to do? No. But I knew what not to do. We start somewhere. I knew not to continue being in this victim mode. So I got up. I took a step. I started knocking on the landlord's door. I said, okay, the location I wanted is not available. Do you have an alternative location? No, we are in high demand. Okay. All right, if you have no location, can I open the kiosks anywhere? And then I'll operate it until you have a location? No, it's winter. It's -degrees. You freeze. Oh, okay. Then you have another building 10 minutes down the road. Can I open a store there? I just kept going and going. This is what we call very thick skin. It works sometimes. Okay, so I went proposals, calls, emails. Eventually, without realizing, I was displaying attitude, determination, sincerity, humility. And this got the attention and a little bit of respect from the chairperson, who eventually gave me the opportunity to open this beautiful store on 26 April 2005. Only 6. So I opened my store then. The opening of Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, one single store, changed the history of the company. Why? Because this single store, this single result, helped me overcome my fear. Could I do it? Am I just good in school and I can't manage in the real world? It opened the doors of my heart to dare to dream. And it prompted me to take action, to make my vision a reality. With the right frame of mind, so-called, I gained the trust and confidence of my team. They are the answer to your company's success. I got the interest of business partners, and I got the appreciation of customers. By overcoming my fear, I reduced the impact of hesitation that arises from self-doubt, stopping myself, or always acting at 80% and below. It also helped me in many other ways on a personal level. So, in developing confidence, I also had a firm and clear vision of my company. And that protected me from being easily swayed by people's negative comments. What does this mean? This is where I want to share my fried noodle story with you. When I talk about fried noodles, do you think of Coffee Bean? No, right? Well, if I had it my way, probably it would be Coffee Bean Shanghai. But fortunately, I had the franchise model to support me. That was my support system. They basically told me, sell noodle and you're out. They removed the franchise from me. I was like, okay, no noodles. So with this support system, I persevered. And as I persevered, I created results, experience, and knowledge, thus enabling me to filter feedback and extract information that is beneficial to the business. Therefore, I learned that besides fried noodles, the Chinese wanted to learn and experience international culture. Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf was a perfect platform. It was selling American coffee culture. So instead of selling fried rice, I repackaged the marketing campaign, focusing on our unique selling points, the original ice blended and vanilla flavored drinks. Within 3 months, the company witnessed 100% growth in the sales of these two products. And the company established a distinct brand, specializing in ice blended and vanilla drinks in a dynamic and competitive Shanghai. So, at this point, I would like to share with you a little bit about fear, because fear is a common obstacle to many of us to becoming who we want to be. F-E-A-R. Oops. Fear. It stands for false emotions appearing real. False emotions appearing real. So how do we handle such a delusion? Face it. When you face it, you look at something in the eye, and you will see some truth. Do not be embarrassed by your perceived limitations. Work on it. Learn, study, ask. And if there's nothing you can do about it, accept it with grace. An example, I hated it when people put me down with the success of Starbucks. But could I go up to Starbucks and say, can you close a few shops? Or could you slow down and wait for me? Starbucks' success was something I could not do anything about. So one day I decided, instead of waiting for them to talk about Starbucks, I talk about Starbucks first. I said, you know, Starbucks is a successful corporate. It taught the world to drink coffee. I respect them for it, but I do not wish to be Starbucks. The Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf has a different strategy. I wish to focus on quality and not quantity. I wish to provide a lifestyle and not a commodity. Therefore, if you're looking for a lifestyle provider, I'm the person you're talking to. Because go to the opposite side of the road for a coffee version of McDonald's. They appreciated my directness and opened up their minds to get to know my business and my brand. So the most important thing I actually learned from this statement was our perceived weakness can be easily transformed into a competitive edge simply by changing our view of it. Result is very important. There are many benefits of result, but I will summarize it as these 3. Result speaks for itself, so it saves our time and energy with desperate explanations and justifications for non-achievement. Result gains respect because result is the manifestation of you honoring your word with your action. Result creates confidence. Confidence you have in yourself and confidence others have in you. And confidence is the attitude that empowers you to pursue life with enthusiasm and courage. As my confidence strengthened through result, I developed an out-of-the-box business model with General Motors, a Fortune 500 company recognized in the automobile industry. And in 1 year, this model became the top contributor to Coffee Bean's revenue and profit. So now, before I end, I would like to share a little bit with, it's an antidote for gossip. We don't like gossip. Anyways, we can't start fighting with people. Oh, you're wrong. That's not true. You're gossiping about me. Why are you saying such things? And you get all emotional and defensive. People will say, she's being defensive. There must be something to defend. Therefore, there must be something true about the gossip. Okay? All right. So before I end, I want to share a little bit about planning. A lot of us believe planning can prevent failure. I think planning is to enhance the chance of success. But do not get too busy with planning, because you might actually miss the opportunity altogether. Plan with 20% of your time and effort, and spend the rest in action. Action creates result. Result creates the feedback, and tells you whether you're moving in the right direction. So, today, I hope that my vision in living in action has added value to your journey, and hopefully it will make your journey easier and more rewarding. And being inspired by the many stories we'll be sharing with you, I've heard the speakers, they're amazing. Being inspired is one thing, but take action. I ask you to start your action by developing a relationship with your results today. Set goals in 3 core aspects of your life. 1, with yourself, a personal goal, something you're passionate about, something that's true to yourself. 2, with friends and family. Take the first step to develop a precious relationship with your loved ones. They are the people to make it worthwhile to wake up to every day. 3, your community. Do something for others without expecting anything in return. You will be pleasantly surprised by how much you gain by giving. It is never easy to start, but take the first step, and practice makes perfect. I encourage you, and I thank you for your time and your attention.